Ho! Welcome back. It's been a while. First gym therapy on the road. We have officially moved out of our last place and we are journeying down to Melbourne. But right now it's been I think a week or so since I've actually trained any gym stuff because we've been on the move and literally have not I just hadn't found a gym to settle into yet. Lots of stuff to tell you. We went from one place to the next, got a temporary place for a couple nights. We literally booked that on the day that we were moving out and our lease was ending in the other place. Had some stuff to wrap up there as well beyond that. That place wasn't so great, but we had that for 2 nights and then this place. And we got some complimentary nights, so we're here for basically from the 14th till the 22nd, so got to stay a little bit over a week. Originally it was like the 14th till to the 18th, and then that got extended. We got free stay and that kind of stuff, so good times. I'm gonna get ripped straight into this. Feels good. Good to be training. All right, let's get it. Okay. How far back does this even go? Okay. All right, that was sketchy. Oh, that angle is much higher than I'm used to. These are about all the benches they've got there. So, oh, that was good fun. Because when you put it on one, just flat. But it's good. Well, what is there to say? I've been noticing, come fill up my water bottle with me. I've been noticing over the past few days that when I am, that's not working. Okay, just do it this way. But yeah, when I'm doing my thing by way of regulating, doing my business stuff and all that, and just living day to day, I'm definitely more tense and constantly on edge when I don't get out and go to the gym. But today was so good because I don't think I spent any time away from the dogs or anything like that. I constantly brought them with us, and as you guys may well know, Timmy's got a pretty low threshold by way of stuff that sets him off. So we're doing a lot of training together. But in doing that, it can be a lot sometimes for me as well, because it's like you don't really train dogs. All dogs are good dogs. You train people, and it's the people that they come up around and do that. So it's a lot of training for myself, really. And then that sense is still going. Yeah. And that's the challenge of it. Goku back. That's the challenge and the joy of it. But it's also one of the things is when, because I'm spending so much time with him and so much time doing all of that, it can be a little bit rough on the nervous system, especially with all the moving stuff. As you guys know, with finances and all that, and all of the, like how I'm going on that journey and doing that and providing fully through that. And even with this, it's like I've had to almost book places reactively, because it's like I didn't know how much was in the account that I would be able to afford and go with. And a big thing that just happened recently, it's funny this, but we were using some from the savings, and I was always like, oh, okay, next time, when I get to this next point with like the finances and that, when I get to this next point, then I'll stop using from the savings. But I kept doing it, and I was like, okay, once we get to Melbourne, once we've booked the accommodation, doing that, then I'll be able to stop using the savings, set myself up and all that. But the thing is, it's like well, I'd been giving myself the option, was the thing, was going like, okay, I can do this, and if this doesn't work out, I'll use the savings. So I was like, when you have that out, you almost just like keep doing it, keep using it, as opposed to I'll allow myself to receive it through the business, because I was doing it from a place of like I didn't trust that it was going to come in. And that's one of the big things. Whilst we're resting, let's see about doing some of this. Adjust this. See what they got by way of any Christian worship music. What you got? I don't think they will have any, but that's okay. I don't know, is this like, is it going to do it by genre? Will it do it? No. No. That's okay. Just generic gym music it is. And yeah, so that's one of our primary things, was what was happening, and I hadn't fully committed to making it happen or allowing it to happen through my business and that. So we had that conversation like Tuesday about, I was like, okay, here's the plan, like I'm going to use it through the savings, and Yana was like, no, we're not doing that. And I was like, oh. So we chatted about it, and I had that realization of like, oh, I wasn't really fully committed because of that, the savings aspect, and it was good. And she was like, I love you, but it's because I love you, I'm going to hold that space and that standard. She did say something that kind of got to me out of, like, not within specifically that context, but she was like, why we were discussing it, and it came, I did say, she was like, this wasn't what we agreed to, why have you done this? Was this, or she asked, was this what we agreed to, or did you kind of come to this on your own? And I realized, oh yeah, I just slid into, like, bit by bit, making that decision on my own. And from that, she did say something, it hurt. I don't know if she meant for it to be hurtful. I doubt that it was meant to. But at one stage, because I've been losing my temper a lot, getting quite angry, swearing a little bit as well, honestly. And yeah, we were on the couch at the Airbnb, and she was like, kind of like it was a genuine way. She was saying like, oh, what have you done with my Kaey-Lib? You know, it's like making these decisions we wouldn't normally make, and kind of getting soft as well. And it did hit me. I was like, I wanted to get really upset in that moment, but I was like, she's definitely right. And so all these things together really allowed for a big switch. And I've been saying to her, I'm really grateful that she holds that space, and a good woman will hold you to that standard of like, hey, I know that, like, I'll love you regardless and be with you regardless, but I know that you have a higher standard than this. You're more than this, if that makes sense. And so for her, it was like when I was saying we were at sushi the other night, I was like, you deserve better, so that's what I'll be as well. And it's like better finances and that. And then as a result of that, like the very next day, I had sent offers out, and that I think I sent them out that day before we had that conversation. And so this was Tuesday, and then yesterday was Wednesday, today's Thursday. But from that, I had like 6.5 hours of calls yesterday. Actually, 2 of them were client calls, so about 3 hours of client calls, because I do like an hour and a half per call, because I just love them so much. And then 2 were one was like a sales call. It was the same gentleman that I was like, oh, maybe with the Amex balance, and this works out better because I was like, oh, repaying the Amex balance was what I originally was like, oh, that's what, that could be, those funds could be allocated into. But I did borrow from the savings for that. And now it was like, okay, well, Jan was asking me, what are you going to do to get us to the next accommodation to like do this period of time? And she was like, because that's what like the bond return was supposed to be, and like the bond, most of that's being used for the rent and repairs on the house, which is perfectly fair. So nothing's coming in for that. She was like, well, what are we going to do then? Because if we keep, like, we have a lot in the savings, like it's like 100 and over 100k in the savings, probably 150 to 200k or something. But it's like if we get into the habit of if we keep dipping into that instead of trusting, having faith and acting in accordance with the faith that this is what we put you to do, it won't come through the business. So in doing that, that gentleman that had initially said no, not the right time, I was like, okay. I did send out another offer that it was like I was doing a money back guarantee. So it was similar to his offer, 6 months of like PT specific stuff, PT business growth, for 4k with a money back guarantee. It's like if you don't get the money, if you don't get the results that you're after in that period of time, then you can get your money back at the end of the period, which is not necessarily the best place to come from. I did frame it as to everyone that I sent that to, it's a limited offer. Like I only did it till end of day yesterday, so I'm not doing it anymore. Probably won't do another one of those again for sure. And it's more so coming from a place of, not that I don't think we can get the result, but that I'm like, I just know for sure that we can do it, so putting my money where my mouth is. But when he and I were discussing, like he had actually, I asked if he knew anyone. I was like, I know it wasn't the right time last time, just in case I thought I should shoot you this offer. And then he actually referred me someone that was potentially be interested, and that was the other call I had yesterday. But then he was like, oh, I'd actually like to ask some questions about the mentorship yesterday. So we jumped on a call, and he was like, yeah, I'd actually love to do this. It wasn't even specifically for the PT thing. He didn't know what he wanted to do it with, but that's where I kind of figured that would be what we did on the call, like figuring out, okay, what do you actually want to do for this? Because like the online coaching, scaling the online business was what he originally said, but then he was like, oh no, it's not actually what I want to do, which is, I think, where it's not a reflection on me when he didn't decide to sign up last time. It was more so like on his state, but that call really allowed us to suss that out. So it's a different offer now. I did, like at the end, he was actually like, bro, look, because it's different now. It was more helping him start up and grow a business so that he can actually just do as much in-person personal training as he wants to do, but know that he's covered financially and has things like a cleaning business, for example, that he can run and be able to post content and help people through it and like make money through that as well. So the funny thing with that is like, he's like, I don't even know fully what this looks like on the other side, but I'll pay in full, and like, I trust you, bro. So it went from like, at the very end, he was actually saying, look, I trust you, bro. Like, just if you want some time, we can go away and tell me what it is. And I just sat there, asked God what the offer is, and it was still 4k, so like the same price. Because he was basically like, name your price, like I'm keen, let's do it. And I could have done anything, but we did 4k without the money back guarantee, which is actually his suggestion. He's like, look, I know it's a different thing. Maybe we don't do the money back guarantee and that. And because I am like, yeah, this is different to like scaling your online business. The money back guarantee just wouldn't make sense. And it's like he didn't need it. And didn't want it either. So I was like, we'll scrap that and 4k up front, transferred that, and then it's like, cool, accommodation in that. I've got that set till we're settled in the next place in Melbourne, and even then I'm just going to keep growing and doing my business. I don't think I really said, but I've basically, in a way, got another business that I've started up, which is, it's on Mabel, so it's support work stuff, but you're still an independent contractor. And it's just a different avenue for that, because I think I've been saying it here, but I've talked to so many boys around here that do support work or juvie and that I'm like, I'd really like to actually do this. And even our neighbor down the road is kind of on there and does that, and you can just get consistent work, or you can do loose jobs here and there. You set your rate and all of that. And that was just something God was calling me to do, because then I can also do a lot of stuff through that by way of like, I want to do youth work in that, but not necessarily as like a youth worker per se, but actually help them develop programs. Like obviously one of our strengths is finances and real estate to be able to even get houses established, but set up programs for the kids to be able to, and this is, perhaps I'm giving too much away, but nah, I'm always open with this stuff. But with them, it's like the way through for a lot of young men struggling like in youth work and like with juvie, and that is sports and activities that they care about, because they don't really care about school that much. So it's being able to do that stuff and even introduce entrepreneurship and that to them and give them that avenue where it's like, okay, look, maybe school's not for you, but you can be an entrepreneur, you can build your own business and establish life and like build something that you find fulfilling. And so that's a lot of the way through that we're going to be doing, which is exciting, really, really exciting to do, to be able to talk to these boys about and be able to help them in that regard is really cool. So basically I've started doing that as well. Haven't actually got any jobs yet. Have applied for one. As in like it's certain, like they post up like, oh hey, I'm looking for someone to do this. And you kind of apply, send in your offer and that, which is pretty cool. And yeah. And then obviously we got that with, so I'm building both of those businesses as well. Actually, our primary thing is the support work, and that will allow me to post a certain way, or I'll be posting a certain way anyway. And majority of our focus business growth wise is Yana and I doing some stuff together, which we still haven't fully sussed out yet. Well, we've actually sussed it out pretty well what we're doing. But yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm really excited to be doing all that stuff with her. And yeah, I'm very grateful that, you know, that's like $4K upfront for that stuff. It covers all of what we're doing moving forward, and I get to help my new client, my new old client, re-signed client, to help him build a business, build businesses and like his income as a whole, like finances and income as a whole, from a systems point of view, so that he can have something that's running on its own without necessarily just doing PT stuff. So because he loves the PT in-person stuff is what we figured out together, but he doesn't want to only do that and have his lifestyle be dominated by that, and like there's not really a way through for it financially a lot of the time for a lot of people. So that's something we'll likely also develop, is like how to run personal training in a way that, you know, you can actually establish a life for you, your family, your loved ones, provide through that abundantly, you know, because a lot of PTs, well, the second guy I talked to yesterday, like the guy that he potentially referred to me, I didn't pitch him anything because I was like, I could just tell he wasn't in that spot. So I just poured into him and was like, look man, this is like, from everything you're talking about, this is where you're at, it's what you need. This is the way forward. I was just really honest with him. But yeah, he was even like, oh, same thing. He's got a girlfriend, he wants to get married in 16 months, within the next 16 months. And he was just like, oh, that water's not good. And he was just like, oh, like, I don't see it as a viable career path. And there was a lot of like, you can see why he wasn't necessarily doing that well as a PT. It's a lot of that, oh, I've got competitors, other people, oh, it's just not that kind of market and where you can do things that way. But he's like, from everything I can see, my diagnosis is he's not running it like a business. So it doesn't establish itself like a profitable business that can actually provide for you and your family. But I realized I was very privileged to come into personal training. I just assumed everyone ran their stuff like a business. Like, you know, you show up, you put in hours, like, even like as a PT, you stand there, you're around the gym and like showing your face and talking to people for like 10 to 12 hours a day. Even when you don't have clients to come in to see, you have your spreadsheets where you track your income, you track your taxes, you put money aside for taxes and all that. You build out offers, you put those, you make better and better offers, and you build more irresistible offers and put them out there. And it was just like, I thought that was normal, but a lot of coaches don't do that. They just expect it to come to them. But yeah, obviously my past client who's working with me now, and originally we worked together for PT and online coaching, like to start, because he had just finished his Cert 3 and was doing his Cert 4 in personal training to then go work at a gym. So we were able to get him clients before he even started at the gym, help him pick a gym and like what kind of questions to ask, and then also have him get online clients before he was even at the gym. Like within the first month of us starting, he had 4 online clients. So it was like we definitely knew how to run it like a business, which is what gives me so much confidence as well, or like why I know that he's the type of guy when he says, oh yeah, whatever it is, like I'll put in the work, I'm happy to do it. Even understanding this from a finance point of view of like, if it's a cleaning company, if it's this, if you say it, I'll go and do it. Like I'm happy to put in the work, even if it is like I have to temporarily be like double timing it. Like I've got my PT and this other business that I'm starting, then like I know that he'll do it as well. Yeah, so it's good. I forgot why I got into that. I'm really happy to be here though. It's nice to be regulated. And even something I did make a conscious decision on, I was like, before the call with him, I was like, I choose to be regulated. And like, look, it still goes a little bit sometimes, you know, it's a homeostatic balance, you know, it's a range. It's not like I'm statically always completely settled. It's about how quickly you can bring yourself back to settlement, and that's a skill that improves over time. And sometimes when you jump into bigger situations, like a bigger pond, the fluctuations are greater, but you develop and learn the skill, and then you mitigate how much that happens, how much you're away from baseline. So yeah, very grateful. I made the choice to be settled and be grateful and still happy with whatever happened before he actually signed up, so that it wasn't coming from a place of like, oh, okay, I need the money in order to feel settled. And when it happened, I was like, yes, I was stoked, did a little celebration and brought it to normal. And then I was like, oh, this is just normal. And for me, that's allowed me to be like, sick, I'm gonna do this today. We've got a day of content lined up for Yana and I. Got the gym, I was like, I just woke up at 9 a.m. or like 8 a.m. Myself. And Yana was like, oh, you're up early. And I was like, yeah, there's just stuff to do. Like it's the mission and the joy of it is like, I feel more driven now that I've been able to receive that like 4K, and it's the biggest lump sum I've received in a while, which I'm very grateful for. And to be able to do it with someone I love working with, and I'm excited to do work with as well, is really cool. And I sat down last night, I budgeted it out according to how I want to invest it. So I'm investing into what we're doing, where we're going to be staying, but also I haven't been like, I've got to save it. I've actually, something Yana and I have discussed, I've put certain parts of it towards, okay, we're going to put this into ads and content. So we've actually started to develop a budget like I said I would when that stuff happened. So that's really exciting to be like, okay, cool, I know where all of this is going, and it's going towards some accommodation stuff, and I've accounted for that accordingly, and budgeting to keep investing into ourselves and growing in the brand, investing into our future is really cool. It's like, whoa, it's happening, you know? And it was just really sticking it through and allowing it to happen. So we're here now. That was a long chat. We'll get the second set on this weirdly high incline, and yeah. Whew. And this is just a gym I'm trying out because we're in the area. And when we set up bases, I think this is an area we'll probably come back to because it's closer to the city than we were before. And the Airbnb that we're staying at now, the person owns the building and the land that they have, and they have several buildings like that. So there'll probably be someone we'll keep in touch with and, you know, stay at his places and that when we're here, because it's pretty good, like real good central location. So I'm trying this out as like maybe like whenever we're back here, because we're setting up bases in Brisbane as well, we'll potentially come through here. And yeah, if we're further from the city, if we want to be close to the city, but there's obviously EMF Springfield, which I really love that gym too. Yeah, all right, let's get this. Whew, feels good. Good to be back, like we never left. One thing is my back gets really stiff when I haven't been training and moving as much. So now it's good to just be moving around, but it gets kind of stiff when I'm sitting around a lot all day. All right. That tends to be the biggest thing. It does make me want to rest, but then I'm like, I know that's not the way through. I've got to actually train, you know, and move. All right, last set of this one. Let's get these. Kick them up to the moon. Lightweight, baby. Lightweight. All right. Fantastic. Feels good. Feels good. A little bit of that chest work done. I'm gonna pause this, go take a whiz, and then we'll move on to some arm work, and we'll keep yapping away here. So I'll go move this over, move you guys over to where I'm next. I'm gonna throw this water bottle out because I don't like that water at all. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. Oh yeah, I waited for a little bit here, so I think it'll be time to actually go soon, because we got some stuff to do today. Some stuff on the agenda after some arm work and hitting the bag for the fast kicks. All right, be right back. Ho ho ho! All right, we're back. And right now, I'd say we've got about 20 minutes more for the session today, and then I'll maybe have a little jog back home, because we're literally like, supposedly the walk was 20 minutes, but I want to do some, oh, you know what, this works well actually. They've got an attachment on these already. I was going to do the tricep extension work, like my short head, long head type stuff, and this will work perfectly actually, even though they've got these longer ones. Be good. Let's see how it feels weight wise with 20 on it. Oh, it's pretty heavy actually. Makes sense. Let's warm up. Just do a little primer with the 9.1 kegers. Oh yeah, that's good. Back a bit. This way. I feel like there's so much to say, and I'm not exactly sure how much of it to say. It's almost like there's so much going on. I just don't know where to start, eh? Let's see if this is any good here. If I stand about here, can you see? So if I go there, yeah, you'll definitely be able to see, because it's more the reflection that I'm looking at for this one. Yeah, I find, there's so many things to say, and I'm so excited, very happy to be in the position that we're in. I'm very grateful that, you know, the finances are all working out perfectly, as they always do, and to be able to be settled even before receiving it, and to still be driven after receiving it is really cool. And that was something I was afraid of for a while, was, am I still going to be driven when things are going well? And it appears so. So it's even being able to embrace that and say it, because then it's like, if you're afraid to say it, is it really there, you know? And yeah, I'm pretty excited to be doing what we're doing. Yeah, so I was like, what do I even say? And I was just thinking the little, what do you call it, from oh, can you see here? Can you see the bag there? Yeah, you can. Watch this. Wait. The little, I should probably do the other side as well. Right leg. Stop swinging. Ish. Can't miss that one. Alright, done. One back kick each. So finance wise, when we moved here, so we literally booked the place that we were going to go the day of, and that's, you know, stressful and adventureful, but it's like, you know, if you ask for a life full of adventure and growth, expect the challenges and the opportunities that facilitate that, not just to have the thing. It's like if you ask God to win a marathon, don't expect a medal, expect shoes, you know. So yeah, that was good. I got the inkling. I did ask like, oh, should we book this the day beforehand, a few days beforehand? But Yana was just like, nah, tomorrow or on the day that we did it. So we did that, and that first place was a bit of a nightmare. It was okay. It was a pretty nice spot overall. It's just it wasn't very clean. Like the kitchen was real sticky in that, and what do you call it? It's like they had dogs downstairs, which is fine, but also had what do you call them? What do you call them? Do a little hang here. They had what do you call it? My friend. They had dogs, and they had, oh right, she had construction going on, and she hadn't said that anything about that in the label, and she only let us know like the first morning that we were there. It was happening right next to where we were sleeping. It was like she was building a shed or another room or something like that, and so it was like right outside the door of where we were sleeping, so obviously that's not very settling for us, and even more so for the dogs, but it was good training for them. I was like, initially I was like, oh man, maybe we should leave, but God was like, no, you stay. It really helped my own regulation for being able to settle Timmy in that when all the banging about noises are going on from like 8 in the morning, mind you, and they get there like half an hour early or something. So from 7:30 in the morning, we're basically like having to worry about the dogs barking and going off and like running through the house and that when we're trying to rest and sleep. So it wasn't the most restful time. Yeah, and she hadn't let us know. Like the hot water was off the first morning. She let us know maybe like 30 minutes to an hour beforehand. I was like, oh, okay. So I had a cold shower and I was like, what's going on? And then I was going to message her, and then I saw that she had messaged, but it's on Yana's phone. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But because of that, we're getting a partial refund for that, because it's like, well, it's just not what was said was going to happen, you know, the story. It wasn't what we, like, you can't just have works going on and not even tell us beforehand. Because it wasn't like last minute works, it was like they were building something, and so she'd had that booked in. She didn't notify us, she didn't block out the booking or anything like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, partial refund makes sense, so we're getting that. And you know, there's a lot of abundance. Like Yana actually had like 500 or something on her, I can't remember the name of the thing, MasterCard or PayPal. She already had that when she booked it, so I was like, oh, we already got some of the stay accounted for from that. And then the place that we're in now is really good. They moved us to a different spot, and we're like, oh, we can give you a complimentary night because of the hassle. They were like, oh, the place that you booked, it's actually not ready yet. Or like they had some last minute stuff they had to do, so they were proactive with it. They're like, hey, this is the case, can we get you another spot in, because they own the building, and that, like, we have these other ones that you can pick from. We picked a real nice one there, or like they kind of presented that option, and we were like, yep, this place is great. And they were like, you can have a complimentary stay, night stay. So we asked, cool, can we, instead of having a refund for that, can we just get another night? And he was like, yep, and also got us like, we actually got an extra 2 days stay, which is pretty cool. Extra 2 nights, 2 days. Yeah, anyway, let's get this set. So it's like when you regulate, all that abundance just follows, you know, because it's who we are, you know. All right, let's do this way. Maybe hold the cables this way. All right. Okay, that's that one done. Nice and light one there. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna drop it. Do a little superset of both of those again, because I'm done after this, pretty much. Time to go. This is more about moving, because we got other stuff to do with content, and they're just moving us into another apartment room for the complimentary stay bit, because someone's booked this place for some of the complimentary days that we're getting. So he was like, yeah, cool, we got another spot we can put you in. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's that one time. Beautiful. Oh, feels good to just get in, get some work in, be doing our thing. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Again, if you ask for a life full of action and adventure, expect that. You know, don't be surprised when God gives you that. If you ask for growth and if you ask for strength, don't be surprised when God gives you situations in which you develop your strength, you know? Actually, this is a note I'll finish on. The guy that I've been chatting to people a lot about it lately, but the specific phrasing came from this gentleman yesterday who was like, I'm wondering what does it mean to lead a faith-led lifestyle, a faith-led life. And for me, a big thing I've noticed, and this is the difference between people who are successful and not, when God makes it really clear to them what's to be done, they do that thing. Faith in alignment with works, and leading by faith, not by sight. Because a lot of the time we go, oh, here's what I can afford, here's what I can do. Then it's like, here's interesting thing. I'll just tell about this guy. So he's got just shy of 10K in his savings, and I didn't ask this at the time. I asked him after our call actually. And for the 4K thing, he was like, I just don't have that kind of money, even before we got on the call. So I was like, I'm still happy to answer some questions for that specific circumstance. And I was like, okay, but it's that versus that's like leading by sight, not by faith. Oh, for some reason I can't do it. When God tells you to do something, it's that you hear the classic, I'm just going to go, I think I need to do it on my own. I need to figure it out on my own. I'm like, look, I've been through this enough times to know that when someone's in that state, I'm not going to jump through the hoops to convince them otherwise or try to convince them otherwise, because it's like they've kind of made up their mind already. They're like, oh, cool, this has been great information here's the classic thing here. This has been great to really help me confirm what I'm going to do and like what I need to go off and do by myself. You've actually given me more confidence in like the path that I'm going to take. I'm like, cool, if that's the path, man. But those guys, they know that's not quite what God's calling them for. And so when you compromise like that it'll manifest in other ways in your life. And I'm like, well, if that's your lesson to learn, it's your lesson to learn. If I get the go-ahead from God to actually now push back on this and use your human first sales stuff more, then I'll do that. Sometimes it's just like, nah, just let them do their thing. Yeah. So I talked to him about that, and the faith-led lifestyle is, I think, a great example of that. Is like when we had $4,000 left in our savings and we emptied all of that for a $14,000 course. We just asked them for, hey, I know you normally do paid in full, but this is all we have right now. Can we give it all to you and do it in like 3 parts or something? And they allowed us to, because we asked and we did it. It was like, this is obvious that this is for us to do, and then we did it. That's like, I feel like that's very obviously because God was like, this is the thing to do. That's leading with faith. A faith-led life, and the fruits that are born from that are very evident. It's very abundant. Versus when you're like, oh no, I can't really afford this, and you keep catering to like what you can afford now. It's like you end up just getting more of what you have now. You know, you got to invest for. I say live below your means, invest for where you want to be or where you're called to be. That's going to be the biggest thing. This is a good pump actually, nice and simple. But yeah, that's it's a funny one. that a lot of people miss. It's like all these guys, a lot of guys you talk to, especially men of God, they're like, I'll follow what God tells me to. What does it mean? Like, I want to lead by faith. And then it's like when you ask for that, you don't just get faith. You get situations in which your faith will be tested, in which you can step up to the plate and look, I understand everyone's on their own journey, but I'm like, you can see why their lives go one way and everyone thinks they'll be the exception. And sometimes they accept that and they're cool, but it's just, these are the facts of life, It's how it works. And yeah, it's how we roll and do it. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what it means to lead a faith-led lifestyle. Like when God says jump, you just jump. You don't even ask how high. You just go. And I think it's fun. It's just normal. And for Yana and I, we've realized that, we just thought this was normal because it is for us, for everyone to follow through on what they say they're going to do. And that's a little ruthless, but it's true. I'm going to be a little more ruthless with some of this stuff, I reckon, with my content. That is the call. A lot of guys are like, I forgot what I was saying because my mind just went into the ruthless thing. Anyway, they're like, I know I need to do this, but I'm just going to do this instead. That's why their lives end up the way that they end up. And they're unfulfilling, or like only partly part of the real thing because it's based in compromise. All right, that was just a weird, sketchy pulse set, but yeah, it's like if God shows you what to do, do it. Simple as that. And I'm just going to cut through and share more of that stuff. And guys like the guy that signed up with me yesterday, like I said, he was like, dude, I don't even know exactly what's on the other side of this, but I know this is right. This is what God's calling me for, so I'm going to do it. I'm like, man, that's exactly it. That's obviously I'm biased because that's how I invest a lot of the time. It's like if God calls and says do this thing, I'm like, let's do it. Even if I don't know what it entails on the other side. I'm like, yep, cool. I know I'll be shown the way and I know it'll be worth it. And yeah, that's why this guy yesterday, real stoked to be working with him because he was even like, dude, I don't need the money back guarantee. Bada bing, bada boom. Working and getting it all happening. So yeah, it's pretty good. And that's why even if we look at personal training businesses, he's got that business that he had, and the other gentleman that I talked to has the business that he has where it's like it's not reliable. So even in terms of numbers, it's like I think maybe similar in savings, maybe a bit more for the guy that I'm working with, but the guy that I'm working with, he's at 25 sessions on average a week, about $80 a session, so it's like $2K a week, and the other gentleman is on about $400 a week, and it's like that's a reflection of the internal state and how you run your business. And obviously, a little plug there, like the guy on 2K a week is the one that worked with me first, and I'm working with again. So it's like you can just see the difference in actions. It's like faith without works is dead. So if you're like, I'm a man of faith, and then God's like, okay, do this, and you're like, nah, you know what? No, is that really what you're showing me, God? That just yields the kind of results that are in alignment with that wavering of faith. And that's what it is, man. Like, I'm just going to be straight up with it. That's really what it is. But yeah, anyway. My focus is on the former type of guy, the guy that I'm working with now. Because that lights me up, that excites me. And yeah. And that's more of like that, an angle that Yana has talked to me about. And she's always like, I told you. She also has a lot of ideas, but that's why I follow what she says. It's the PT to investor mindset, which is like my journey, because a lot of people are like, PT is not a legitimate profession. It's not seen that way because they don't treat it like a business in the first place. But it's like, how many PTs do you know actually through personal training are able to build their own house, have their own house, build an investment portfolio, like how we've built? Hardly any, because it's a shift in mindset and like the things you do as well. Come. Yeah, all good. I'm about to finish up anyway. Yeah. And I'll just be over there. Yeah, no, all good. Nah, you're all good. It's a shared space, bro. I don't have priority. All good. Remember, this is all the art of being a man. Body that, we'll be all gravy, baby. Make that shift, PT to investor. Let's go.